Neutering! I'm sorry. Did that scare you? Well, it shouldn't. And let me explain why. Upon asking clients if they're going to spay and neuter their pets, they say it all. I want to breed her. Isn't that wrong? Shouldn't I let them be parents? I don't want to remove his man parts. Surgery? Too expensive. This is what I hear. I want to attempt to make money from my dog's babies and potential discomfort, then get overwhelmed and end up spending too much money in the long run. Naiveness. More naiveness. I don't want to offend my masculine ego by removing his man parts. Surgery equals death. Always. I'm making excuses. Lots of excuses. However, living with an altered pet is actually going to save you money in the long run. For the very safe surgery, you're going to spend $150 to $400, and that's on the expensive side of an estimate. That price tag might scare you, but not when you think of the cost of long-term care. Plus, there are lots of programs that will actually do it at a reduced cost or even for free, such as Spay Today. Now, when I say long-term care, I mean this: dogs in diapers. And that's if Fluffy will even keep the diaper on, which is not usually the case. If she does take her diaper off, she's going to get her mess all over your nice white carpet. Now you have to go out and buy a steam cleaner, you have to buy more diapers, and still you have to hope Fluffy keeps her diaper on. Heaven forbid Fluffy has babies. Now you're looking at, if you're a responsible pet owner, you're looking at exams, vaccines, deworming for 4 to 6 puppies and kittens, maybe even more than that. They can go into heat 2 to 3 times a year. Aside from the cost, you also have to worry about diseases, which increase as time goes on. Pyometras is just a fancy word for the infection of the uterus. You have to worry about cancers such as mammary cancer in females, prostate cancer in males, behavioral changes such as aggression, marking, the desire to roam, which if he or she does roam, you're looking at potential death from being hit by a car or theft from being stolen by your neighbor. Aside from risks and cost, perhaps the most important one is pet overpopulation. Cats can go into heat 2 to 3 times a year. They can have litters of 4 to 6, usually. In 7 years, a mother and her offspring can produce a whopping 370,000 cats. That's in 7 years, and that's just from one mother and her kittens. Dogs are almost the same story. They can go into heat 2 to 3 times a year as well, but their litters are generally 3 to 6, so sometimes on the smaller side. However, in 6 years, they can still produce 67,000 animals. Not all of those dogs and cats are going to homes. So where do they go? Shelters. Or they roam the streets. Shelters house an estimated 7.6 million animals every single year. They survive mostly off donations, pet adoption fees, general donations, not much funding. If they can't support the animals that they have, it's estimated that 2.7 million animals are euthanized every single year. That's a lot of animals. This can be due to many things: lack of funding, lack of food, lack of space. Plus, pets that are unaltered and living in shelters pose a breeding risk to pet shops and puppy mills, which are terrible places. And for another rant, in my personal experience, I am a veterinarian assistant. Every time we see puppies from puppy mills, they're lethargic, meaning they're quiet. They don't run around and play like normal pets. Also, in my personal experience, I have seen quite a few studs which are males that are used solely for breeding. Usually they're aggressive because they're not handled well, because their sole purpose in life is for breeding. Once puppy mills are done with them, they're cast out on the street to get picked up by a shelter or euthanized. Also, with breeders, you have to do your research. Some breeders are great, some are not. So in the end, just adopt. For my conclusion, I would say the benefits vastly outweigh the costs. You're going to have a lower cost of living with your pet, reduced risks of diseases, and reduced pet overpopulation, which is a real issue. Most altered pets live a longer, healthier, happier life. It's just a fact. Plus, if you don't want to offend your masculine ego, you can purchase Neuticles, surgical implants placed at the time of surgery that make it look like nothing happened at all. Yes, these are real. Yes, I have had a client ask us to place these. Aside from everything else, don't adopt from puppy mills. Spay and neuter your pets so they don't end up in puppy mills. They're terrible places. Yes, you would be making a difference in the world. Yes, you should spay and neuter your pets.